guys.
Hey.
Today we have Hagai and Ohad here from GraphQL Tel Aviv on GraphQL World. This is our third episode, and today we have a special guest that we work very closely with, and I also here have my co-founder Michael Paris as well. So good to have you guys here.
Yeah, it's to be here.
Sweet. And for those who don't know, GraphQL is an applications layer query language that was released by Facebook about almost 2 years ago now, as like a replacement and improvement upon REST technologies. And it's basically just a better way to build apps, and it's a more modern way to build applications. And so today we're going to talk about what you guys are building. So how did you guys learn about GraphQL in the first place, and when?
I think it was almost a year ago. We read a post from our friend Uri Goldstein, who is really active in the Metal community and now in the Apollo community. So we read his blog post, and we kind of intrigued what GraphQL is and what Apollo is.
Mm-hmm.
And when we dived in and understood the potential and the amount of problems that GraphQL solves when you develop application, we just kind of swallow into Apollo and became contributors of the Apollo stack.
Cool. I'm curious, what was it about GraphQL in particular that really caught your that really made you pay attention? So there's a lot of features that it provides, and what is it in particular?
Yeah, there's so many, we can talk about it forever. But,
yeah.
Basically, more or less what happened is that we were using Meteor, and we wanted to build some application, and then we thought that the server side has a lot of info that he needs to publish that we don't really need to publish it, and we really wanted to more control of the data that we had basically, and also make some let's say optimizations with it. So basically, we compose a list of some requirements of some things that we want to design towards, and then we just started to search for it because we thought maybe people already dig inside this area. And then basically after that we just got to a lecture by Uri Goldstein. And back then, we were also using already Meteor, and we know Uri from there, so we just dig in, you know.
Yeah. The thing that I like the most in GraphQL is that the client can actually tell exactly what data it needs, and it only points to one API, and there is no complexity creating a lot of REST APIs. And if I want, this is something that cuts me in GraphQL, and also that the documentation is embedded, and it has so great toolings like graphical, so you can really actually understand the communication between the client and the server. It's you can make much healthier development process.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Do you think that it's sped up your process? Have your dev cycles become shorter, or are you seeing productivity gains from using the technology?
Of course. It's more than we think that the impact GraphQL can do on the development speed is so massive that we actually plan a new way to develop products that is GraphQL driven.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the students know, but I really suggest them to go and see the lectures that was in the GraphQL Summit. And there is a concept named GraphQL-first that that's the seed of the idea we had.
Cool. I'm curious, you guys said you were Meteor developers before. How was the transition between, being Meteor contributors, now Apollo contributors? I know you, Hagai, you've been doing stuff with RxJS and subscriptions. I'm curious to hear more about that.
Yes. Yeah. That's, again, a good scope. First of all, about RxJS, we think it's it's the next generation of programming. It's solves so much problems, and it basically shorten the amount of code you need to write to create certain logic.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited about GraphQL, and we're excited about RxJS at least as we're excited about GraphQL. We think it's technology that can really impact the way we program, the way we develop products.
Mm-hmm.
So about the Meteor Apollo transition, Meteor was just amazing. It was like, when it came out, it blew my mind to see how much features it provides.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you really, when I really built a lot of complex application with it, then I encountered the problems, let's say for like join in the client side.
Mm-hmm.
That's have to do a lot. And then like when I learned about GraphQL,
yeah.
This problem is solved naturally.
Right.
You can actually query for data in any route, in any deep
yeah,
you
that
want.
makes sense. So there's like a performance benefit on the network as well. Cool.
Yeah.
For those listeners that might not know what RxJS is, could you just give like a quick intro and kind of explain that technology?
Yeah, okay. So basically, RxJS is just a library that basically implements the ES7 observables. And along with it, it just introduces operators that basically gives the observable themselves much more power. So, for example, let's say I want to capture mouse clicks, but I want to just throttle it. So I will basically won't have too much clicks on the same time. Okay. Right. So this is an operation that with RxJS you can do like with using just one operator, while if you want to implement it, you will need to basically manage the timestamp yourself and like try to figure out what to filter and what not. And there is a lot more room to introduce bugs along it. So actually, while we were transitioning into more functional code, we just realized that the number of bugs become like lower, and that's something that really drives us into. And then when we saw like how the subscriptions were released, then we basically thought, like it's not natural to use event emitter there. I can just return observable like I am returning a promise, and it will work a lot more naturally as a programmer, as a developer.
We see RxJS as the next step. If we will take the JavaScript world, then it was started like for asynchronous programming, it was like at the beginning a callback function, and then it like evolved to a promise. Then we see observables, or the concept RxJS introduced as the next step. Like it's even smarter way to manipulate data. As I said before, it just can save tons of lines of code. You can create very, very beautiful and complex logic in very few amounts of code.
Yes, so also there is a lecture named Everything is a Stream, which describes it.
Yeah,
and the lecture itself is very recommended.
If GraphQL, if RxJS interests any one of the audience, we really suggest them to watch this.
Cool. And do you, I know you guys worked on it and built it. Do you guys have any running applications that use it in production right now? Perhaps SchemeHub, maybe?
Not in production. No.
Okay.
Basically, what happened is that we did some initial POC, and then after we basically verified the engine itself is working and it's passing all the tests and it's not breaking anything, then we try to contribute it into the base core engine of GraphQL. And then Facebook said that they want to more or less they don't want to get it into the official package, as the official package should be the reference implementation of the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it has observables, and they are okay with that. Okay, so I just thought, okay, so I will just make a fork package that replaces the engine. Mm-hmm. So I created a package that basically imports all the existing functionality from the original GraphQL package, and then it just replaces the execution engine itself, so your resolver can basically return observables.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. So is that mostly important in the subscription world? Is that going to solve a lot of the problems with GraphQL subscriptions?
Yeah. Because now the subscription callback looks much more like the basically original or usual query resolver. Mm-hmm. But with that, like instead of using a generic pub sub and such, we can use like any stream source, and if we just want a standard pub sub engine, mm-hmm. Like at the moment you cannot really mix Redis with the regular pub sub unless you write some wrapper or something.
Right.
In reference to any stream. So if you want like a standard pub sub, you can just use subject in your context. Right. It's also more, a cleaner way to write the code, mm-hmm. and with that you can also support operators. So for example, if you are on a slow connection, so your basically application can detect that, and then it can pass argument that it wants the subscription to be throttled or buffered. Mm-hmm. So this is one more cool thing that we figure out that we can do now.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah, I could definitely see the place that can fit.
Mm-hmm.
And subscriptions is a really exciting spot in GraphQL right now, I think, as well. So I'm really excited to see what people can build with the new subscription models coming out.
So changing gears here a little bit, I know you guys wanted to talk about your new project, SchemeHub, and I think people are eager to hear about it. So you want to give a little brief intro, the pitch, if you will, about SchemeHub?
Sure. So basically, SchemeHub was we were invented it. It was when we needed a tool that will help us integrate GraphQL more smoothly into the development.
Yep.
We understood that the GraphQL schema is like the key mm-hmm. to that application is backend. Mm-hmm. So we decided to create a tool that will help to design GraphQL schema in the best way, in the best possible way.
Gotcha.
So we looked at SchemeHub as kind of a GitHub on steroids for applications. Like not for any kind of code, but for applications, for code that really needs the schema and that the development process can start and end with the schema. Like the schema is the heart of the project.
Got it. So the schema, like the GraphQL schema, in the GraphQL-first world, like you build the schema first, and that defines your data contract between your client and your server, and then you're basically creating a GitHub for all these different schemas for different projects. So then, and then as an open source way to like contribute to basically like have other people use your schema to start building applications of their own. Is that kind of the idea?
Cool. So, it's like you said at the beginning, like it can boost the development process. In the moment you have a schema, the backend and the frontend can actually really understand what's going on and develop in parallel. Then they don't have to like bounce into each other, and every integration can take time from the development. It's like you have the schema, you have GraphQL, which is an amazing tool that comes with GraphQL, and you just can develop against it. And the chance that there will be any break when the integration between the frontend and backend happens gets low drastically.
Cool.
So we can SchemeHub actually it's in alpha stage right now, but if some people, we will show it a little bit and we will show what feature it has.
Awesome.
If any of the viewers will be interested to, I don't know, check it out, maybe even use it, because we use it when we develop that. You're welcome to enter his email to the link that is provided.
Sweet.
And we will send him an invite, and he can check out SchemeHub, and we'll be more than happy to see and hear their thoughts and maybe ideas.
Awesome.
Awesome. Do you guys have like a Slack or anything that the listeners could join to like kind of get to know you or like talk to you guys or anything?
Actually, we currently only have the contact us page in the SchemeHub site itself.
Gotcha.
So we'll be able to hear everything about SchemeHub there, but there soon will be a Slack channel, and we can maybe do it in the scope of Scaffold itself. But there will be soon something like this. But if you want to contact us, we will be more than happy, and there will be an easy way to do it in the schema. We will show it in the demo.
Yeah, and also we are on Scaffold Slack, so feel free to just message us. My nickname is Hagaiko. He's Kimchi.
That's
awesome.
Amazing. Cool.
Yeah, we'll make sure those links are included.
Yep. So I guess like without further ado, do you guys want to screen share and show us what you got?
Yeah, we will explore a little schema with you right now. We'll show you what we can do.
Sweet. Go for it.
So, what you see when you will get into SchemeHub, and then you can log in with either GitHub or Google. And you will just use my GitHub. And then you will have the access to your first scheme, basically. Okay. Cool. Now inside here we can see some very basic scheme that shows like a very generic example of user, post, comment. We can see it like in IDE on the left side and the visualizer on the right side. You can actually like feel the scheme, like see how the scheme grows as you type it, basically. For example, inside user, I can add like profile picture, which will be a picture type. Now GraphQL will tell me type picture was not found inside the document. Cool. And this is because it's not there. So I will just like edit on the go. So I can add picture, and I can say that it have width and height, and then link, which will be a string, for example. Okay. Cool. That's not a number. That's right. I'm not inside JavaScript. And string is with.
It tells us exactly what the problem is. That's what.
Yeah. That's what's so beautiful.
As soon as the schema is valid, the visualizer will be updated, and you will be able to see that it's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Now. Right after you like have a scheme that you can start work with it, you can then basically just try it and work on the user queries or the servers or the client side queries with it. So, for example, I want to create I want to query my user. Okay, so I will just go to users. And then I will look at my first name and last name. Okay, and I can see like
you can actually see how the server side will react. You can actually see it can really like help the development process, because you can really know what the server will get you back and to respond to which request.
Cool.
And then as I'm developing my scheme, I can start and write my user queries. And just like save them inside this document, basically. So I can now add another query. For example, I want to see all posts, and then I will just go to posts, and I want to see how many likes, and I want to see the comments that they have. Yeah, and I can also link to creator. Just first name. But now I have like one document with couple of operations, and it just grows. So I will eventually can basically attach for each like front-end view I have on my design on the paper. I can like create the query that I will need for it before I started to build it, and make sure that my scheme is completely compatible with that. And I can just like select which one I want to run.
Cool. So I know
Then,
you
for
guys
example, I can do post. And wait, I think that's a bug in the GraphQL itself. Okay, we can just cut that. I'm not sure why it's saying that I did not send the operation name, since this one should just send it. Okay.
So I know you guys have some cool features around like implementing this or adding this to client-side applications. Can you talk about how that works?
Yeah, so basically, as soon as you write the schema, you have the option to generate the typings for, we will eventually support every typed language, but currently we support TypeScript, Flow, and Swift. So as soon as you will press, for example, TypeScript, d.tsc file will be downloaded, and you will be able to see it like generated in TypeScript. So it will be like if you were, no matter which client you work on, you will have the interface ready for you as soon as you finish the schema. We plan to use all the typed languages, and we have a lot of ideas in mind. We'll be happy to hear another people's ideas that maybe they encounter in a problem while developing, and they have an idea that that might maybe boost the development speed or solve time here, or maybe we will be happy to hear about it. The vision is like to create a community of developers that really share their knowledge about how to develop products in the fastest and most healthiest way.
Like to make like scheme building, especially for open source projects, to be like open for discussion and more like reachable. Okay,
Gotcha.
So. For example, if I have a service like GitHub, which is which people might want to use the repository object in their application, they can actually just import it from the GitHub repository and just use it like a proxy. Okay, cool. And I also like to say about the typings feature that this was developed by our friend Dotan Simcha. So he deserved the credits.
Awesome. That's awesome. Wait, so you mentioned that people will be able to like pull it in like a repository. So does that mean you're going to try to maybe even package it up as like a NPM module or something that like, you can pull from like one single source, one single schema, and then like, if you're deploying your app in production, you can pull it from like NPM or something like that versus, downloading it locally and then using it from there.
So at the moment, the product is on very early stages. Like we are at the moment focusing on the user experience, on building the schema itself. Yeah. But yeah, in the future, we want to also like release NPM library that will be easily project. So you will be able to always be synced with your scheme, basically, with your live scheme. Okay. So if you just want to run the mock server on your cloud provider, you can just use let's say, generic Docker image that just pulls by ID, for example.
Cool. Gotcha. Cool. So one thing I'm excited about and want to learn more is how are you guys doing versioning? Are you guys going to bring in like Git concepts? Like if I change my schema, how are you guys going to handle that difference of seeing like the difference?
Yeah, actually, this is something we prefer like to keep confidential at the moment.
Okay.
But we do have plans for that.
Cool.
Awesome. And then you also have like public, private repos, things like that in the portal
Yes.
itself?
We support open source, so all the public projects will be completely like we want to provide the help.
Yep.
And yes, there will be obviously an option to do private projects because not everyone wants to share everything.
Right.
That's okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I want to say that at the moment in the alpha stages, everything is private. Okay,
Got it.
so like if you work on the platform, no one can really access it except for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We trust you.
it's not public.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So what's like I guess like the next, when's like the big release?
We actually in a stage we want to really explore the tool and like understand how to prioritize all the ideas we have.
Yep.
And we think the best way to do it is like to share the tool and understand how people react to it, like
Yep.
what they want, what they're missing, maybe even to develop our ideas with the community.
Right. That's always
Like,
a good idea.
there is no like a date for it, but
Not
we
yet. Yeah.
we want it to become like a hub pretty soon. Like
Sweet.
it's not we don't have a special date, but it will be. So it works.
Awesome.
So I'm assuming there'll be like a closed beta at first, or it's in alpha now, but even further, just to kind of get more people on the platform. But then you'll kind of need an invite code, and then from there you can kind of get involved with you guys in the community that you guys are building.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
that's
Awesome. How many people are in your like private beta like using it right now?
currently we have about I think 54 users,
Cool.
but they're all like friends and acquaintances. Now we like this is the first time that we like share it to people we don't know.
Yeah.
And we really like to your ideas and to see how you to hear what you have to say.
Cool. Awesome.
Like,
So then how do we sign up? You go to schemehub.io. This is for the audience mainly.
I know you go to alpha.schemehub.io, but you have to get an invite before, and we will send a link where you can put your email, and
We will compose all the mails like I don't know, a few days after, and we will just like invite all of them at once. Okay,
Cool.
this is basically the plan.
That's great.
Yeah, this is really exciting. I know how popular GitHub is amongst developers. This is only going to be just as large, if not bigger.
It's the future.
Yeah.
applications, only for applications.
Only for
Right.
applications, yeah.
Well, cool. One last thing I wanted to ask about is just in the spirit of GraphQL around the world. I wanted to hear a little bit more about how it is being in Tel Aviv and kind of what the community is looking like out there. Are you guys involved in meetups out there, or kind of what are you seeing?
So as we in the beginning, we are the co-organizer of the GraphQL TLV meetup group.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it was the first meetup was almost 3 months ago.
We have like one meetup about 2 months from each one,
Yeah, so
and the third one will be like in the end of the month.
Yeah, the next one we have is the 20th of March. We will send you like a post to our YouTube videos, but it's in Hebrew, so I don't know how much of the audience will be helpful for that. We consider to do the next one in English, but it really was amazing. Like the moment we decided the meetup group to create the meetup group, there was like 100 members in like a few days, and then it's like now we are about 300 members.
Yeah.
And we just understood how amazing GraphQL is and how easy potential it has, and we just said, okay, we must spread the word.
That's awesome.
Like front-end and back-end developers should know GraphQL, should at least be familiar with it, so he will be able to develop better.
Yeah, and what kind of like audience do you guys get? Like who typically shows up to these meetups that you guys have in GraphQL TLV?
Basically, developers from all the spectrum, like they can be freelancers and they can work in a huge enterprise.
Yep.
Because GraphQL, you probably know as good as I know that it can really help everyone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're all developers, but from every part. Like
and
even team leaders, not like people who encounter problems in the integrations, people who encounter problems in the so like
also we can see like not only JavaScript people, we can see like also Java people and Go people, and there is a variety of communities that basically interested in using GraphQL. The biggest community is JavaScript, but we can see that we see here people all around. There is a lot of diversity.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you seen a lot of cool projects come out of there recently? I know like there's like JS accounts that the Tel Aviv, some of you guys are working on, and other like Apollo projects. Anything else that strikes your mind?
You ask like something that's related to GraphQL?
Yeah, something related to GraphQL that you guys are working on that kind of like helps. Yeah.
So there is the typing library by Dotan Simcha that we mentioned before.
Okay.
Also, like I am myself a core contributor in Apollo team.
Okay.
So I mostly work on the server side and GraphQL side and the GraphQL tools. Side. How to make developer lives easier.
Cool.
Any more specific projects?
If you're interested in GraphQL and JS, we actually combine them together, creating a new execution engine.
Yep.
And you can check it out. We will send the link here.
Cool.
We think the best way to develop something is like not do things alone, but to share and to collaborate and to discuss the things together. So if it interests you, we will be more than happy to have you look at it and give us your ideas and maybe even help us develop it and understand the vision well.
Yeah, so I would also like to say that at the moment we are working on Apollo integration for a WebSocket, one WebSocket to pass through all your data, queries, mutations, subscriptions, everything through one WebSocket, which is something that is in PR stages at the moment. On the server side, I'm working on the network interface on the client side. So the transition there should be really, really easy from the existing code or HTTP only or HTTP with WebSocket transition into one WebSocket, and then you will be able to use the GraphQL RxJS engine with it. So this is what we are waiting for to update the schema backend to use it, because we do not our POC server, but the Apollo server that will be released.
Cool. Well, that's all the questions.
I want to say that this is like one step further into reactive directives like live and defer and stream, because you will need the ability to return more than one result or stream to support them properly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Awesome. That sounds really cool.
That's all the questions I had. Did you have anything else?
I'm good.
Cool. Well, thanks for hopping on the show, guys. SchemeHub looks really neat. Looking forward to your guys' release and your launch, and hopefully people who watch this join and check it out.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.